Oh, if only I could main deck all of my side deck.
Mekk, best tech deck.
Tis correct.
So this is the main deck that we've agreed upon. So it's going to be triple purple.
Quite basic, isn't it, with like the Mekk-Knight on it?
Yeah, triple blue, and then one indigo, and for the rest of the...
So it's just like...
good ones.
He's a pretend Mekk-Knight in it, he's not actually a Mekk-Knight.
Because he's like kind of the one that you search last as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah. But so purple's like really good because this card like can attack over stuff before using its effect. It can force it negates like by doing that. Like purple and the blue ones are like the best ones just because these are the ones that get you to the next one. Indigo you basically just play because sometimes you open too many, and if you don't play an extra like copy, then you've got nothing good to search.
If you've already opened Nightfall and then maybe Nightfall searched this, then obviously you want to get value off this. So like he makes sense as well because he's level 8, same as.
But like, I think like, the actual like most powerful one is blue because it can like search multiple, yeah. But it's quite like rare that you'll actually get to search 2 unless like you use like a kaiju or something to set the column up for 2.
But I think like back in the day it was more like this was like less of, but like I think definitely in this
because like we're not actually playing like an look Mekk-Knights usually play with an engine like an invoked or something, but like
it's kind of almost pure in it, I suppose. So.
But so like, that's it for like the Mekk-Knight monsters. But like we still need to talk about Gear Suit because we are playing one copy of Symbol Skeleton. So like initially neither of us were playing any Orcus at all to like sort of use this for. We were using just this to climb into Galatea, Ding, and then Zeus. But then we realised that like Symbol's actually perfectly fine because it's very compact. This can just send this, and then this can just revoid Gear Suit in like worst case scenarios.
And then like as a standalone card, like it lets you make the same kind of play that this does if this got hand traps.
Yeah, and this is the next best Orcus after Gear Suit that your normal summon, because Brass does nothing.
Exactly.
So at least like this does like get you somewhere. But yeah, so that's like that's all like the Mekk-Knight / Orcus stuff, and then the rest of it is literally just tech, yeah.
Yeah, so the next ones we're going to talk about is Fantasma.
This card's just nuts at the minute. Like there isn't like an amazing deck in the meta that's like doesn't summon any like monsters. I think the best deck that doesn't do it is probably going to be Eldritch. But like everything else, like all the actual sort of like dragon decks and stuff, they're always going to feed into Fantasma. It's pretty cool as well because when you go like Fantasma and then like you drop a Mekk-Knight, it makes, especially like purple, it makes it even more difficult for them to stop your purple searching. This card against like erratic spheres is really good because like you've already got a monster at the start, you tend to just force it out.
I really like this at the minute.
Yeah,
I think
it's nuts.
It's actually insane. Like board presence plus like obviously the draw is like big.
And then like it sort of like combos with the other hand because we're playing Fantasma. We're playing 9 hand traps total in the main, yeah.
Yeah, 9.
So Lancia is probably like the best single hand trap in the game at the minute just because
stops everything.
Yeah, all of the big combo decks rely on banishing stuff, so even the dragon decks, like they've got like Chaos Base and like the Collapse Serpents and whatnot. And then there's Tri Brigade, which completely like just fall to this card, I suppose.
And it has like some really neat interactions with like your own stuff as well. So
yeah,
it's like
especially with
like this card.
Yeah, so like if you open like I always joke about these two being like an FTK because you can gamma them and then you can drop Lancia to like stop them from like being able to play with their graveyard. And then because you've Lancia'd, the gamma actually stays in the end phase, so you start your turn with the gamma and the driver, and then that lets you sort of play.
Yeah, make a synchro pretty much.
Yeah, Chaos Road is pretty good in a deck full of light and dark monsters. So that's like all the hand traps, and then we're just going to go to the spells. So Prosperity is probably like the biggest boon to sort of like play this deck now because before DINGZEUS was like the best option for sure. But what I really like about Prosperity in blind second decks is that because you're going to play a lot of like blow 8 ball breakers, you can sort of like pick and choose them. Seeing this card with Fantasma means that you basically just get to sculpt your hand perfectly. Like the damage thing does suck kinda, but like a big part of this deck is that you're going to go DINGZEUS, so you won't be killing them anyway.
It's the same as well when you're playing. Like, if you're playing stuff like the next card's Dark Ruler, so it's like. You can't. I think in your mind when you're playing this build, it's like you kind of know that the game plan isn't always just to kill them.
Yeah,
like
you just want
to rid the board, and then obviously you're just in control of the board. Then, so it's like I think this makes just so much more sense than DINGZEUS because like the blanket 2 cards might not actually get you there, but like the ones that you can excavate probably will. Like especially.
I feel like as well. I don't know if this is just me from like, all my opponents, but like DINGZEUS seems to get stopped a lot more than this does.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's just the players I play against being bad, but like I just want to say that this deck is very. I want to say like it's got training wheels, and I think that it's very noob friendly because it's so basic of just how you take control of the game. Like you're just gonna stump the boards with cards like this, or like I main deck Super Poly for instance, and then all it takes from there is a Ding and a Zeus, and like the whole game is just in your control. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you roll on to next turn, and then you've got like Symbol Skeleton for your Ding and stuff.
And then the other one that we've agreed on is tactics. It makes sense when you go in second and you're obviously trying to crack boards, either trying to draw into cards, seeing your opponent's hand if you crack the board, or obviously taking control of something like a Dragoon.
Yeah, like if like against stuff like Dragoon, like you kill them with their own card, and it's just funny. But another like big thing about Mekk-Knights is that you need like high impact normal spells. So Talent, Dark Ruler, and Prosperity are
anything
all
that you
like
can
normal spells.
set to make a column essentially.
It's pretty cool.
And then the last one that we're like pretty agreed upon is Mind Control.
It's
a staple for me in any Go second build.
I think it's like I always just associate this with Mekk-Knights. It's just a Mekk-Knight card, isn't it? It should be Mekk-Knight Control.
I love it. But the other stuff that we're like not 100% agreed upon.
Well, we'll go through the sort of agreed extra deck first. But like, there's actually like a big difference between our extra decks, right?
Yeah.
So like, you play one of each of these. I actually play two of each just because I think that if you crack the board with the first Zeus, and then they sort of like manage to get through like the Zeus that you leave, like that you end your turn on, they can't usually deal with the second DINGZEUS, and it's just free. Like I don't feel like too forced to sort of like. There's nothing in the extra deck which like I really felt like I needed to play a lot. So I think it just made sense for me to like adding more copies of these. Something else as well that we both tested is Pain Gainer.
I do like it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So like Pain Gainer says that you can slap it on top of any like high rank Dark Exceeds monster, but it needs to already have two materials. So you can't do it with like Ding Galatea, but you can do it when you hard make Ding with like Mekk-Knights or some of like the tech cards that we're going to show you. But that actually happens like quite a lot, like especially when you've got like indigos and like purples floating around, you'll hard make a Ding. And all it does is it basically gives you an extra material so that your Zeus becomes a two use Zeus rather than a single use Zeus. But like I think this is sort of like the most basic stuff that you make in your extra deck, like every game probably.
Yeah, pretty much all the time. Yeah.
And then we play a Link Rebo just for the Gear Suit token because Galatea requires an effect monster. It doesn't really come up for anything other than that. It's quite cool that against the Dino deck you can use it to get rid of the Lost World token. Yeah. That token is so annoying. Something that is spicy in this deck is Lambda because
I think this is like the actual best card in the extra deck other than like the sort of like the DINGZEUS thing, because when you like go in to try and crack a board and say you open the actual gamut already, you don't need to search it, then you make this and it's like it makes your combo like almost like.
I think you actually need to explain what it does because a lot of people see this as vanilla.
Yeah, it's not a vanilla. So if a psychic monster is banished while this card's on the field, then it lets you add a side frame card.
So Mekk-Knight Purple banishes itself and is a psychic.
But obviously also like its other condition is like when it's on the field you can activate side frame cards from your hand with
controlling other monsters.
Yeah, basically. But so when you like, if you already open the gamma and you're trying to like crack a board, then obviously you summon this. It takes two monsters as well, so like you can choose anything apart from tokens, and it lets you like pretty much foolproof like your combo. Like it just cracks through everything because obviously you have the gamma's backup, and like the gamma's not only going to be like a negate but like an extender as well. So it's like it's nuts. But sometimes when you like say if you crack a board and you've left stuff on the board, then you can go and make this for two monsters, banish your Nightfall, and then search Gamma, so like you have a response for next turn as well. Like I think it's actually cracked. Like I really, really like it.
Something else is this is sort of like techie in this deck because like you don't really get like an awful lot of value from like the Nightmares and stuff, which I play the Nightmares in my build, but like you said earlier, you've just got to try and find tools to beat decks that you're struggling.
Yeah, that's I think when you're doubling up on the Orcus things, like mine's more like sort of linky toolboxy I suppose, but like
so like this is here for mainly Eldritch because this is probably just like the hardest thing because it's just so Zeus doesn't kill them like it does other decks.
No, it just clears the board, doesn't it? So we were saying earlier that I feel like the Link 2 and 3s are the most important because those are the ones that you can readily make all the time, kind of like pretty much off a Gersu on its own. So this
and it is dark as well, so you can like make it off just gear, so you're using the skeleton.
Exactly. Like I like this. This is pretty cool.
And then we both play Unicorn. I play Phoenix and Cerberus, but like I said, I'm not really sure what to put in my extra deck. Like I'm not sure like what. I've never really found too many situations where I'm missing stuff from the extra deck.
No, it's like it's almost like okay, what's the most impactful one that can I pick? I think it's just having the one in there like all ready for the meta, but it's just finding it. I think the more we test and the more we play, and obviously when we get back to like actual organised play, we'll be like, yeah, this is the one, this is the one. But
so like because Unicorn's one of the best ones to climb into access code to, just because you get to force something out of the way before you try and plonk this guy and kill him. I don't personally like access code too much in the deck because I feel that access is like, it's a kill card, isn't it? Like it's sort of a borrow sword, but like I think unless you need to clear the board, I only ever got to climb into this when I haven't used Prosperity or Dark Ruler, but it's still just like a very powerful card, so you should definitely just be playing it. And then the last one that we both play is Chaos Ruler, because it's basically just to make off your Gamma when you've either triggered Gamma on your own turn or when you've opened Gamma Lancia. And then it's pretty cool because it finds all the Mekk-Knights, it can find you another Lancia for next turn. You can find stuff like Nib and stuff in the side deck.
It's like this card is like a double extender, isn't it?
Yeah,
because extender on its own, like as the actual card, and then extender for whatever it's going to find out.
And then it comes out the grave for free as well. So it's like
doubles.
It's like 3 monsters just off one.
I was testing a Mega first because like that's always like the sensible one. Yeah, but like this is cool, man.
And then we're going to go to sort of just like a bunch of options that you can either play in the. Well, these are like main deck, side deck, and extra cards.
I think if we talk about the Link monsters first, if we can find those.
Well, so like, I think you play this package, don't you?
Yeah, so like, this is my little sort of World Legacy package. Like, it's annoying because this is a brick, but I just really like this card. So
yeah,
like,
cosmos.
You can like, obviously, you Gersu send this instead of sending anything else, and then like makes this live. So then you can summon this. This spins a card when it's linked off, so if you go into Unicorn, etc., etc. But also gives you like an extender as well. So like, I just think
this card's crazy.
Yeah, like when you play Mekk-Knights, this is so like, I don't know, blowout, man.
What I really do like about this card is like, because I haven't actually like tested this properly yet, but especially in game 2, because I think we've both sided Sanctum, you can activate Scythe multiple times with this, and you can Lancia them with like this card. So it's just pretty sick.
I think when a lot of normal pure Mekk-Knight builds play like this at 2 and 3, like it's insane. But I'm not. The whole idea of this deck is to try and kill them, not survive in it. So it's like, I only want to play at 1 in case you get sent first. Like I just feel like you need an option, but.
Something quite neat about this card is that like, I didn't even like think about this until last night, but like this card actually lets you potentially play stuff like Lava Golem and Sphere mode, because this actually lets you put your Gearsu on the field without ever having to normal summon it. So you can discard your Gearsu off this to search Succession and then just instantly reborn it. But like that's something that like neither of us have like tested properly yet, but it's just a good option. Anytime you can play Sphere mode in a deck like against Dragon Link, it's pretty strong.
So look, these are pretty much already in my main deck. What are you playing in the main?
So like my replacements for like my main deck, extra deck, I actually like play Super Poly, so I've got to play like, my Super Poly targets. My sort of like, I don't like quick play spells in Mekk-Knight decks because I want all my spells to be able to be set and then I can just flip them in the same turn. But I think with this, it's such a blowout against the good decks. Like my sort of like idea behind this card is that if I draw this and it's not live against the deck, then I should beat them anyway because the deck isn't very good. But like this is one of the best answers to Dragon Link. It's one of the best answers against all of the Invoke decks because they've always got like Ecclesia Mekka, so you can make this. Mekka, Golden Lord, so you can go into Mud Dragon as well. Winder Mekka, you can make this. It just hates everything.
I definitely like the idea of it because the whole point of this is to play blowout cards, and this is, you know, blowout number 1 in it. But I don't know. I was testing it and I've been playing with it a little bit, and I'm not like super keen on it. But
I always get paranoid as well when I'm blind in second because I always get scared that I'm going to find the other blind second decks. So I want enough cards in my main deck that where I won't just die. So obviously we've got the 9 hand traps, and then like these is like another 3 options to like just sort of set and pass on. I'm quite. That's what I want to feel. Like, I want to feel confident that I'm not just going to die if I get sent first.
I get that. I feel like I just want to play something that's probably not as extra deck heavy. I think that's my theory. But
and then the other thing that like I main deck is I actually play 3 copies of Gizmek. This is weird because like there isn't actually like a clear way to explain the synergy with this card, but. So one of the big problems that we've both noticed with this deck is that if we play against slow decks that aren't putting out scary boards and whatnot, those are the matchups where you're going to struggle because you're not just blowing them out with a Dark Ruler or a Super Poly or something like that. But cards like this beat the Guru decks and stuff because they can't deal with this guy every turn. If you can like sort of like break away, like break the Hidden City or whatever, and then you get to beat over the Guru, and like the slower decks, this is going to become a problem every single turn for them to deal with.
It's like I'm testing this at 1, but like you're playing this at 3 and I'm playing Storm at 3.
Yeah, you're playing Lightning Storm, sure.
I think that's the
I'm side decking Lightning Storm.
But like I just feel like when you're playing blowout cards, this is one of the top blowouts. But I'm not against this. Like I feel like this is like it definitely has its application.
I quite like this as well against the like both Dragon Link because you can drop it in in their like first end phase. So then it's just a free body on the board. So then this can at least like force spheres. And then as well, you can also just drop this when they activate the Smorg effect, because then this automatically gives you a monster to try and kill the statue with. But yeah, I just really like this card. I put it in lots of decks.
I think if we're not playing Desires, like it's definitely a lot more applicable in it.
Something that we have both, I think we both main, but something that we want to talk about is this a little bit. So we both play Godala because it's the best card at the minute because it kills the statue. But like Slumber's actually really applicable in a deck like this because you've got Gamma to make sure it resolves, Dark Ruler.
I feel like this Gamma is like
it's nuts,
mental, yeah.
And then because it gives you both a monster, it's almost like a Nibiru that's good as a 6th card, yeah. But what's pretty cool about this as well is that these two are both level 8, so these let you make the hard make, they make the hard make the ding. And then this card lets you grind a little bit better than you'd be able to.
I think like the really good thing about like this little package is like I think the only scary thing is Dragoon in it. As like an actual out, because obviously you can Dark Ruler, but then it's like a lot of resources just to out something. So I think having this in there, like you can just plonk and then carry on plonking, it's a good option. But everybody's going to be playing Godala anyway. But
I think Kaiju's with Mekk-Knight of Blue Sky is just nuts because you just automatically get
set up the zone,
set up 2 searches.
Kaiju them search.
Alpha is something that we both tested.
Hate it, that's it.
It's just
it's not very good at the minute. Like
I feel like it's fine against like the combo decks. Like when I draw my hand and I see this in it, I'm hoping that my opponent is playing the best deck. But when they're not, this card sucks.
I just don't like it at all.
It's just really bad against all the bad decks.
Nice. Like it's not like it should be something like Fantasma levels, man. But it's just not, is it? Like
and then the main decks. Well. This is something that we was talking about because this is quite easy to fit in.
I think the biggest problem with this deck, and probably most blind second decks, is like, what do you do when you go first, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this little engine could get, obviously there'd be some punishments in here as well. Like I think as a go first engine setup is pretty good.
Especially as well when people send you first, they expect you to have nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
So usually when you get sent first, any interaction that you've got will usually connect because they're not going to put in like the 8s to punishment against Mekk-Knights.
I think the thing I hate about this is the fact that it'd be so big. Like, I don't know.
I think the only thing that I don't really like about this is because I'd always want to try and bait them with stuff like this, and then if they didn't negate it, then I can't make DINGZEUS, and it's just not very Gucci gang.
It's worth thinking about. I think we're just going to try everything, and we'll obviously update this as soon as we have.
Just some of the differences in my extra deck. So I play like 2 of each of all of those, and then I play the Nightmare and the Phoenix. And then I always play Zeraboros, and this is something that I prefer over access code because, like especially with like Dark Ruler, you can use this. Banish the whole field, and then because I'm playing Gizmek, you can like bring this back, or like you can either pass on this in the extra monster zone and then trigger it on their turn with Gizmek, or you banish the field and then you put it in the middle, and then if they try and summon into the extra monster zone, sort of punishes them again. But like,
I really rate this, but I think overall I'd much rather make the access. I think, but it's only because you're playing Gizmek that it's like makes a lot more sense for you.
He's massive, yeah. Something else is just like all the other generic hand traps. I definitely side Nibiru.
I'm actually maining a couple of copies of this.
But like these can be just like any hand traps that you can like fit into like your local meta. I think Droll is like very applicable as well. But Nibiru is cool as well because you give them a token, you can set up a column with that. And then you've tried Instant Fusion and Thousand Eyes.
Yeah, still testing. I like this. Like it's just mind control. Obviously, you play more cards for it, but
I think like
still like it.
I feel better about this now. We've got Prosperity because you can just like banish this off Prosperity and like it never existed in your extra deck in the first place.
It's like the only one that goes well with the Link Reaver as well, I suppose.
Something else is Regeki, which is actually like pretty good in this format. If you can get it to resolve, it's like broken.
So I think if you're not playing Lightning Storm, then this is something to think about.
Hoppy Silver Duster and Red Reboot. Funny thing, I actually main deck Red Reboot because you can use it against every single deck. So even like the best decks, like in the Dragon decks, you can just use this to counter the trap card, and then at least it like did something. This card plays really well with Trisbaner as well because you let them set another card and then you just banish them all with Trisbaner. It lets you set up another column with the Mekk-Knight.
This is just a staple. Like you should.
I want them to bring this guy back to 3. This card's broken, man.
It's not coming back, man.
Something that you really like is Waking the Dragon. I'll let you explain this card.
You hate it, innit?
I hate it. I think it's terrible.
I found it's nuts this card, I think, but like I found testing it that obviously when you when you beat somebody with Mekk-Knight, it's like they always just send you first, and you side 3 of these, set one to make a zone, and then they just try and pop this, and it's like, okay, geez, like I just win now. Like it's just nuts.
I feel so cringe.
What? It's sick, man. But it's like when you go in first, it's like
you're assuming a lot of your opponent for that to happen.
Oh, you'll see, man. You'll see.
Denkoseka, like we said, just like the only decks that you're going to struggle against are the slow back row decks.
And you've only really got one normal summon in it, so like this is a good option for sure.
Pretty strong. And then like these are just like more cards that you can side in for when you think you're getting sent first. I think I really like Strike because it's just so high impact.
We're just both guaranteed playing 3 of this inside. I love it.
And then Dynameskis is another one because this is like one of the only things that outs both the monsters and like Mystic Mine if that happens to you. So yeah, that's it for sort of like the Mekk-Knight / Orcust-ish Zeus Turbo.
Yeah. So I think that's all of the options for the side deck, for the extra deck, for all of the tech stuff in there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.